Can I ask you something, Miss Evelyn? Do you know what her pain is? Because the only reason a person would behave in this manner.
We're not going to throw this behavior word around again. We're not going to do that. She does not have a behavior problem, and that's not fair.
First of all, your finger in my face is not going to work for me.
But the name calling is not going to work for me. Because I don't appreciate you keep throwing out these names. What about my disrespect? All I have been is disrespectful.
Tamar. This is
I've been called. Wait a minute.
Now let me ask you something. What if Tamar isn't really the root of the problem? What if the real issue in the Braxton family has actually been Miss E this entire time? Because baby, the Braxton household is getting messier by the minute. And of course, Tamar is right in the center of the storm again. Every time Tamar trends online, folks drag her for being dramatic, messy, and hungry for attention, always reminding her of her reputation for never letting anything go. But Tamar is tired of being the one everybody points the finger at. She's saying loud and clear that the person who shaped her into who she is was her mother. Now, how about that twist? Tamar has been very open recently about her mental health and healing journey, and she has repeatedly suggested that her mother's deep resentment, especially toward their father, affected her profoundly, and that, according to Tamar, is a big part of why she's still struggling today.
Your mother run your life.
How dare he try to tell me how to raise my kids after he have abandoned us? He has some nerve.
Y'all have lives to live yourself, and she can't run her life, her home, and your home too.
And you know what? Had you been home long enough to help me to raise them, it wouldn't be such a problem. But where were you? I'm there hanging in the street, doing whatever you were big enough to do.
All day long?
What did you do?
What did you do?
Let's be honest. Tamar has shown us every side of herself over the years. We've watched everything unfold from her rocky relationship with Vince to her situation with Junior to constant blow-ups with her sisters to burning so many bridges it's hard to keep count. And this year she stirred up even more drama, throwing funky Deneva into chaos by suggesting she might have been assaulted after a night out, or even worse, hinting that she allegedly slept with one of Tony's men.
You don't. You stole men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's. You slept with them
a
few times.
What man?
You not get the lead.
Dirty low-down ass bitch.
Oh, you're such a liar. Such a liar.
At first, everyone laughed and enjoyed the chaos when she acted out years ago. People even loved her for it in the early seasons of Braxton Family Values. But lately, every year, Tamar pulls something new that shocks the public. And quite frankly, people are getting worn out by the constant drama. She keeps saying she's healing, but child, many believe she's spiraling even more. Some folks are even saying Tamar truly needs help. She's exhausting and needs to be loved from afar. Tamar never thinks she's wrong. She always feels attacked and doesn't see how nasty she can be. Tamar is almost 50 and falls out with everybody. She's never going to change. And while Tamar's dramatic behavior is nothing new, people are warning that she needs to take a step back now before she destroys whatever positive reputation she still has left. But as expected, Tamar isn't staying silent about the chatter. She's putting the blame everywhere except on herself, and this time she's pointing straight at her mother, Miss Evelyn. The sisters have been carrying bitterness for years, but Tamar is the only one speaking on it publicly, and for the first time ever, she's directly linking their behavior to how they were raised. All her life, she watched her mother hold grudges and refused to let go, especially after Evelyn's marriage to Michael Braxton ended, and Tamar believes that shaped everything.
Say some things out her mouth that are really cutting.
But your daughters are being held emotionally hostage to your ex-wife's bitterness towards you. You and her need to get on the same side of the table and free those girls. Because the elephant in the room that nobody will talk about is Evelyn Braxton's attitude.
Think about it. It's been over 20 years since Evelyn and Michael divorced after she discovered he cheated. Yet, the level of anger and resentment Evelyn still holds toward Michael is unbelievable. And apparently that bitterness set the tone for how Tamar and her sisters handle pain, conflict, and even how they treat each other. They didn't just see the dysfunction, they absorbed it.
I don't even think they look at me as a sister. They don't like me. We were very close as kids, very close as young adults, and now where we are in our lives, that relationship no longer serves us. And I would hate to keep arguing with them and keep building negative memories instead of building and relying and thinking of the good memories that we had.
Even Tony, the oldest and the one who often appears polished and classy, is still messy in her own quiet way. And many say Evelyn has been just as controlling and toxic as Tamar's behavior suggests. During the divorce, she reportedly forced the children to choose sides, and anyone who supported their father paid the price. That's why Evelyn and Tracy were often at odds, because Tracy continued her relationship with Michael since she lived near him in Maryland. Evelyn supposedly held that grudge all the way until Tracy passed away. Tamar, being the baby of the family, took her mother's side completely and allegedly never made major decisions without getting her approval first. That turned into a serious issue and created a heavy codependency between them.
She said she thought was right.
Beautiful lie, too.
And as long as you agree with her, she's fine. And it's the same thing with y'all. If y'all don't agree with her, she is pissed. And it's time for y'all to stop letting your mother run your life.
According to Tamar, the problem wasn't just the bitterness. She says her mother loved controlling the conversation and believed she was right about everything. If Tamar ever had a different opinion, Evelyn allegedly shut it down immediately and expected full obedience from all her daughters. And it's hard for any of the sisters, like especially Tamar, to push back because of the constant guilt tied to being reminded that Evelyn raised all 6 kids on her own after Michael left. That was the environment Tamar grew up in, and even after 20 years, nothing has changed. Evelyn still carries a tremendous amount of anger, and it continues to spill over into her relationships with her daughters.
You're picking up what I'm putting down. So looking at Tina Knowles and her children, and looking at Evelyn Braxton and her girls, it's proof to me that forgiveness or unforgiveness and bitterness can trickle down to your kids. I feel like Tina Knowles is the reason why Solange and Beyonce are able to persevere and press through adversity with grace and poise. I know this is a weird way to put it, but Beyonce and Solange was able to see their parents go through a healthy divorce. Even Miss Tina acknowledged that they did not go back and forth. And honestly, she had every reason to be bitter and not forgive him for having an outside baby on her. And then on the other hand, we can look at Miss Evelyn Braxton and see why her daughters are still on each other's neck in their 40s and 50s.
And honestly, many people are taking Tamar's side because it's easy to see how Evelyn Braxton may have created a cycle of disrespect and how that has shaped Tamar over time. I think I want to make a list of villains people don't think are villains and start with that good old Evelyn Braxton. Evelyn Braxton represents so many of our toxic mothers that have raised us to become mentally scarred women pretending to have it all together. The Braxton family has always been toxic, and Evelyn is the main problem who held it over her kids' heads and forced them to stick together despite any issues. Them girls don't like each other, and Tamar is always the scapegoat because of her mouth and personality. But what do you all think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Kayla Knows News.